I'm a board member for the first time this year, and I was asked to look into the portfolio of thought leadership. The visions and the purposes of thought leadership is attached to the UN Development Goals and the Sustainability Goals. So it makes us, it takes the profession into the real world situation.
And that's where I come in. I'm an ambassador for the International Coaching Federation, the South African Charter chapter. And my focus is on social media and bringing ICFSA into the digital world. So it's really, really cool to be a part of this project.
I'm Malcolm, and I'm currently serving on the ICFSA Charter Chapter Board as the Executive Officer for the Foundation. Everything in coaching is measurable, even the social impact. It might take time, but that is what drives me as an Executive Officer of this board is how do we create social impact through coaching?
The opportunity came to be an ambassador for coaching in the financial services sector. And that's something that I'm very passionate about. I have my foot in financial services as well as in the coaching world. And I truly believe that those two need to intersect more.
There's a unification because I'm a rural coach, and ICFSA opened the ability for me to have conversations like this. And Crystal, you came in the promotion of that in the digital arena. But ICF was very much on the forefront, I think, of embracing the online world and the virtual world. So we're going to have more and more of these situations of working in the hybrid world. So in terms of what ICFSA has established is actually opening the space for more coaches to become part of what we do in South Africa, regardless of where you live.
And I think there's also a bit of a misconception that if you join a chapter like ICF South Africa, that it means you have to be South African. And I've actually met so many people from all over the world because of ICF South Africa. So I really love that idea that it's actually by joining this regional or this national chapter, it's actually opened the world and it's bridged my relationship with ICF Global. So that's for me what I want people to know about it.
I love that. I think that's been my experience as well. I'm in fact speaking in collaboration with ICF Israel chapter coming up in the next month. And, who would have thought that would have been a possibility 2 years ago when I was organizing face-to-face events and needed to get Annabe over the mountain to where I'm based in Cape Town. There's the whole of Africa between me and Israel. So that borderless, boundaryless space is amazing.
And I think that is what actually kind of makes me feel proud to be part of the ICF community, is that, some organizations, they've got an international office, i.e. one person somewhere in a coffee shop that represents them. But when you actually talk ICF, the international part is real. Because when you speak to the guys in Uganda, you understand it's not one person. It is an entire community that shares like-minded views and principles and philosophies. When we talk about what's our definition for coaching, there is consistency in terms of this is what it is. And that gets us credibility, which means people assume at that very moment, the moment you say ICF, that you are professional. You have a code of conduct that you adhere to. You've got a code of ethics that you subscribe to. And linking to that is not just that institutional aspect to it, but also the sense of community. To say that there's a sharing community, a community that support and grow. I've learned so much about coaching beyond my coaching studies, just by being part of events. And also that peer-to-peer learning is absolutely marvelous, and the sense of community that you have. Yeah, so that for me is a very important aspect. Why you actually want to belong to this organization is sense of community, getting credibility, and the professionalism that goes with it, just to establish ourselves into the various markets.
A community like ICFSA, you will find an incredible spectrum of people. And you don't have to be the leading voice. You don't have to run the event. By just going there, even if you prefer to have your video off, by just going there, and coaches listen very well. If you sit there and you listen, gradually you grow with the space that is provided for you, and you connect with the people that you find connections with, and it doesn't matter what you think your niche is, or whether you think you're weird, or whether you think you're a nerd, or whether you think there's a place and a space for everybody in ICF.